Hello guys and welcome to I'm a Biker. Well, the Pulsars are back. The Pulsars are reborn and this is the new Pulsar N250 and let's check out what it's all about. So let's get right to the heart of the matter. Let's talk about the engine. This is a new 249cc, basically 250cc single cylinder engine. It's not liquid cooled, it's air cooled. It's got the radiator as well for the oil air cooling. You know, it's a 250cc engine and it's the biggest Pulsar yet. And even Bajaj admitted that, this vehicle is probably about a year or two late to the market. But it's here now and, let's talk about how does it feel to ride it. So now, one thing is that the engine is refined, but what you miss is that typical Pulsar soul that you feel on the 220 especially, the bottom end grunt or at least the feel of that grunt. You miss that, especially in the lower RPMs. When you open up the throttle, you miss that sound and that grunt. This sounds different, this sounds nice, but it's different from the Pulsar grunt that you're used to. The engine as such is actually quite good. Typical single cylinder, only at higher revs do you feel probably about 8,000, 9,000 RPM. Does some vibes come in, you feel it on the foot pegs, some on the handlebar, but this engine is good and the gearing is also actually quite well sorted. Out on the highway is the only place where you sort of miss the 6th gear because the sound of the engine is such that you constantly keep searching for the 6th gear and you wish there was a properly overdriven 6th gear to just sit and cruise at. But considering that this vehicle is going to be mostly ridden in the city and occasional touring, the 5-gear setup is actually quite good, and that particular 5-gear setup allows the gearing to be neat and well defined as well, because even when you stop for a speed breaker, you can pull it off in 2nd gear itself, and if you're a lighter person than me, you can probably even pull it off in 3rd gear. And even like for example, we're on this small hill here, Akhil and I, we were coming up on this bike, it pulled all the way in 2nd gear without any issues. I didn't have to put it into first even once, all the climb upwards, and not even at higher revs. It was just about 3,000-4,000 RPM, so it's quite well geared that way. So for the city, that is really good news. You can avoid a lot of gear shifts. You can keep the momentum going, and of course, one thing that really adds to the comfort and fun while you're really pushing this motorcycle hard is the fact that it has got a assistant slipper clutch. So what that means is clutch feel is actually quite nice, and especially in the city it feels very easy to change between the gears without much effort. So that's definitely good. And of course, when you're really pushing it hard and you have those quick downshifts, the slipper clutch as well makes a whole lot of difference. In the typical style, if you keep the revs above around 4,000-5,000 RPM, it pulls like crazy. The 0 to 100 is quite quick. It feels quick as well, and it sounds really good and it builds up revs quite fast and quite easily. So even though it's a 2-valve setup, I'm surprised that it revs so quickly. So in that way, it's quite good. So it sounds good, and all through the rev range it sounds good. It sounds good even in idle, and it's got a low bassy sound, so it feels good when you rev it. So now when it comes to cruising speed, so like for example, I told you, you miss the 6th gear when you are out on the highway, but in the 5th gear you do 100 around the 7,000 RPM mark, and you can sit there peacefully and the vehicle feels stable. There's no issues, the engine feels refined, and you can do that 100 cruise quite easily. And in fact, it's actually quite fuel efficient as well. So Bajaj officially claim around 38 kilometers to the liter, but we've been getting around 34, 35, and that is with actually riding it quite hard as well. So I think if you are a sane rider, you should get about 35 consistently. And talking about top speed, with me on board, it did about 128, 129, and we didn't have a long enough straight actually to push it further, but I believe the lighter rider and a long enough straight, it should do close to 135, maybe even 140, but 0 to 125 any day, any rider. Beyond that, it depends on where you are and how much you weigh. So now let's come to the handling part of the Pulsar, the new Pulsar 250. So one thing, let's get it out of the way. This is probably one of the best handling Pulsars yet, and probably the previous one that I liked as much as this was the NS200, and even that was pretty fun to ride. And then coming to this is actually in that range, or maybe even slightly better. It's easy to handle. The moment you sit on it, you immediately know it's a friendly bike, it's an approachable bike. The riding triangle is slightly sporty, the handlebars are at the right height for all riders, and it feels easy to ride. And the thing is, it feels light to ride as well, and maybe sometimes too light. For example, in the city, the light front end makes it very nimble. You can probably go between the traffic and between traffic quite easily. But at the same time, when you go probably towards its higher end, probably when you cross 80, 90 or even 100, the front end feels too light. I don't know if you've ridden the Swart Pylon. I got the same feeling last time when I rode the Swart Pylon. I wish the turning radius was a bit more for this bike. Right now, it's enough for your daily use, but sometimes in those tight spots in parking or when you want to take those U-turns, you want a little bit more turning radius. But apart from that, it feels really good. The seats are actually quite comfortable, and the seat height is also just below 800 mm, so it's about 795, and that is also quite an approachable seat height and makes it accessible to a whole range of riders. And the seat, even the pillion seat, is actually quite big and soft, the rider seat as well. So all in all, the riding side of it, the riding comfort, the riding and handling as well is also quite good. Right now, these have the Eurogrip tires, probably not the best for this bike, but they do the job. These tires are meant to last long rather than give you, extreme grip. In most situations, they're good, and probably when it gets a little bit wet, it lacks a little bit of extra confidence. But now coming to the brakes itself, it's got a single channel ABS setup, so definitely ABS any day much better than not having ABS. But at the same time, to keep the price down, they have skipped the dual channel ABS. But what I feel that it really lacks is that actual feedback. Like for example, previously we were riding even the NS200. It's got a very precise feedback, and where the vehicle will stop and how much you can push it. That sort of feel is probably lacking in this, but definitely got the stopping power to go with it. So now feature wise and build quality wise, one thing I personally liked is that they didn't try to add too many stuff, Bluetooth connectivity and a whole lot of other things and make it pricey for no reason. Because personally I'm not a big fan of Bluetooth connectivity and all these things, because I feel that those things are just driving up the price of every motorcycle too much nowadays. And you're going to always put a mobile holder, put your phone in, you have your navigation and everything sorted, and you have the USB charger, just power it and just keep going. Why do you want all those on that tiny screen up front? So for me, that is not a problem. Connectivity wise, not an issue. Build quality, I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, probably some places I wish the plastic quality was a bit different, but even coming up here in the main area that you always see, the lever qualities, the switch gear, everything's decent. I mean, for the price, basically it's a very well priced motorcycle, probably one of the most affordable 250s out there. And in that space, I think these are all pretty standard and pretty good. The meter as well looks good. Basic functions, it's got this speedo, odo, trip meter, 2 trip meters. One additional thing is the distance to empty, so kind of know how much kilometers you can run on the fuel that you have. So pretty standard stuff there as well. Overall, I don't see any creaking, badly put panels. Everything looks decent. Now coming to the design, probably a lot of people expected the new Pulsars to look more like the existing Pulsars. But if you take a silhouette of this motorcycle, you do feel that it looks a little bit like the NS. But if you look at it, it's a Pulsar. That's the beauty of this design. But at the same time, it is not as big as I thought it would be when I first saw the pictures. It's a much more compact motorcycle. It feels light. It's rather good. And the tail lamp especially, is that very lightning, typical Pulsar design for the tail lamp, but they worked on it to make it different. So overall, especially for me, I like the naked design much better than the faired one, semi-faired one. So, but for me, the biggest feature on this bike is that projector headlight up front. These headlights are real damn good, and for me, it is something that they have really starred on this bike. And usually you see all these new LEDs and all these things coming up, and they really don't have much throw. It's just LED for the sake of it. But these projectors are really powerful and they provide good lighting on the road. One thing I missed to add out in the suspension side of things is that the ride comfort. I told you that you're sitting comfortable on the bike, but the actual ride comfort is actually quite good and surprisingly soft. Because when I saw this bike, I thought it will be something like the NS again. It'll be kind of stiff, but actually the front forks are actually quite soft. They soak up bumps quite well. Even the speed breakers and an odd pothole, it absorbs quite well. The rear probably could have been a bit more softer, because a lot of people say it is, and it is true that it affects the handling if it's too soft. But the primary target for these motorcycles are the city users, right? And for them, I feel a little bit more comfort in the rear suspension as well would have made a whole lot more difference. But on the whole, it's actually quite soft compared to other bikes out there. So definitely a comfortable motorcycle. So what do I think about the Pulsar N250? Well, it is a good city bike. It feels like a proper city bike. You'll have a lot of fun with it on the city. The highways probably not so much. Build quality is decent, and I don't see any glaring mistakes and things like that. Probably lacks that original soul that we always associate with the Pulsars, but in no way is it not powerful or does not feel quick or anything. It is quite fast, it is quite peppy, it's very nice to handle, it's quite comfortable. So that's what the Pulsar N250 is all about. Do check out our website. We'll have a couple of wallpapers and on this bike for download. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.